Kevin J. Johnston, freedomreport.ca. I'm about to be interviewed, but this guy's so awesome, I thought that I would just go ahead and film it anyway. So this is his interview, not mine. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Go ahead.
And I'm actually interviewing him, so it's kind of interesting. It's a double interview kind of thing. So this is socially triggered. This is one of the few times I actually show my face, so I might censor this later, but...
That's okay. Yeah. Here, we'll do it for you. Go. You can censor his face, but it's a handsome face. Don't hide that.
So I was kind of curious. How did you get involved with the Rebel?
I am actually not involved with the Rebel. I do not work for the Rebel, but I have worked independently with David the Menzoid Menzies. He and I had a radio show. We had a radio show together. No, Dave and I were completely separate from Rebel. I believe Ezra's interviewed me twice in the past, and Dave Menzies has interviewed me.
You were with Rebel.
No, it's just interviews. It's all it was. I've never worked for Ezra, and I can't take credit for anything Ezra does, and that would not be right.
Okay, then I don't have to interview.
Yeah. But what I would say, though, is that having the opportunity of having spoken with him on a personal level, Ezra's a very clever guy. And when you're off camera with Ezra, that is actually when he's at his best. I really enjoyed having about an hour and a half of his time. I was arrested last year for hate speech.
Yes, I saw you do a lot of these street interviews, and I've seen your stuff. You're a pretty awesome guy.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So Ezra, he called me in to interview me, and we talked for an hour and a half before we went on his show. That is where he really shines. I mean, when you talk to him off camera, one-on-one, man-to-man, he's just a great guy all around. But I have to clear up, I've never worked for Ezra. But with David Menzies, we had a radio show together online at realityradio101.com. And what's really sad is that we were unable to get sponsors for it because we were a conservative show, funny, but conservative, talking about conservative news from a conservative angle. Yeah. And with 30,000 listeners, I was still paying out of my pocket to run that show. So I had to cancel it. It's $1,300 a month to run the show, plus my fuel.
Should do it on YouTube now, right?
I know, it got to be out of control. So I'm wondering how it is, Canada, that you can have a show of 30,000 listeners, but nobody wants to be a sponsor. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's horrible nowadays. Yeah. But that's kind of interesting. I actually am curious because I've seen some of your street stuff, that you've done. What do you think of? There was a tweet that was done. Like they always comment about Trump's tweets and how destructive they are. But there was actually a tweet that's literally cost Canada possibly billions of dollars. And that was the tweet from Trudeau when he tweeted and said the doors are basically open to the world. How did you feel about that tweet where he basically...
When I saw the tweet, my heart sunk. I remember actually there was a bit of a slight drop in blood pressure in my body. I'm thinking, no, did he really do that? And I had to double take and then triple take and look at it. And I had to sit and think about that tweet for a minute. And then I started talking to people about it, and really stupid people would go, "Oh, that's so lovely. It's wonderful."
Sounds great. Yeah.
No, it doesn't sound great at all, because I had been studying for quite some time prior to seeing that tweet the effects of mass immigration in Canada, which we've been doing for far too long. Yeah. We've had 7 million immigrants come in since 1991, and we do not have the infrastructure or the plan to house them.
That's true.
Everyone thinks that Canada's a big place. No, it's only about 11% arable land within a temperate region. Everything else is ice. Yeah. I don't want to live north of Sudbury. I tried that.
Actually,
so we don't have.
What we should do. We should just send them up north, and then
they'll leave on their own. Believe me, if they see Churchill, Manitoba, they'll leave on their own. But we just don't have the land, the infrastructure, the plan, or the economy, or the leadership to have that happen. So we need to actually put a stop on immigration. But here is idiot boy. Let's call him what he is. Jihadi Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
Tells everybody, come on up. Bring tuberculosis, bring gonorrhea, syphilis, bring AIDS, bring everything you got, every ailment you have. Bring your rotten teeth. We're going to pay for everything. You never have to work a day in your lives.
Yeah, it used to be that we would only get the best from all the countries around the world. Yeah. Now we're just accepting
My grandfather and grandmother came in just before World War II broke out, and they worked their butts off their entire lives. My father came here when he was 16 years of age and immediately began repairing Coca-Cola refrigerators, then got into the insurance business where he worked for 35 years. My father worked hard. Actually, 45 years, my mistake. He worked extremely hard after he got here. He met my mother in the 60s and had my brother and I in the 70s. But he worked. I never knew my father to be unemployed. Whereas all these new immigrants that we're bringing in, they're all unemployed, and they're actually unemployable. I don't want them near me. The cultural divide that we have, and I know what they're going to say, racist.
Yeah.
No, it's the cultural divide. There are some cultures I want nothing to do with, period. Stay away from
them. And they want nothing to do with you as well.
That's right.
It's
they want my money. Yeah. They want my money, but they don't want to earn it.
Yeah.
And if I do hire them, they don't want to listen to me.
Money is one of those few things that goes across barriers, cultural
It's crossed
barriers.
everything. Yeah, but what I'm saying is my heart sank. I knew it was going to cause problems, and here we are with illegal aliens going. So I'm running for mayor of the city of Mississauga, and I'm going to tell people flat out, if you are an illegal alien who broke the law to enter Canada, don't come to Mississauga. We're going to find a way to get you out of here. We are not paying for you to do nothing.
So how do you feel about potentially we might have an NDP government in this province, and they are talking about sanctuary provinces?
Well, we'll have rape epidemics here, like Sweden, like Germany, like France. Sexual assaults that are just, gropings and grabbings and whatnot, that is going to skyrocket. Theft is going to go up. And you're going to see that the investors are just going to say, the hell with this, and they're going to leave. They'll go back to Quebec, or they'll just go to New York State. Now, we've lost thousands of companies to New York State. Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse are saying, come on down to see us. We got cheap everything, cheap business tax, cheap land, cheap warehouse space, cheap electricity. That's the big one. You can save $20,000 a month if you move a 10,000 square foot warehouse to Buffalo from anywhere in Ontario. That's a huge savings.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you do it? Yeah.
That's twice what I make in a year just in savings in electricity. So why would you not do that? Why stay in Ontario? The NDP will make it worse. I suspect that they'll stick to their guns and put a 30-cent tariff on gas per liter.
Yeah, and also they're thinking of doing the minimum wage hikes, and there's like
minimum wage hike is a bad idea.
Business taxes as well. And
minimum wage is actually a really bad idea. Everyone should be paid what they're worth, honestly.
Yeah.
And if you want to work for $8 an hour, you should be allowed to do so. And quite frankly, we should just abolish income tax. That is the problem. I actually worked out a scale that if you make $48,000 a year from age 18 to 65 and retire with never having paid income tax, you're going to have over $1.2 million in savings to retire on. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because someone who has that much money in retirement will spend money and stimulate the economy further. Whereas in the current system, your savings might be about $40,000. It's ridiculous. Plus, you have to go on social assistance.
If you're actually able to save at all.
If you're able, right. And people
like,
aren't.
yeah.
People aren't. So unfortunately, that's where things are going. But we got to get back downstairs.
Okay,
so thank you very much. Great talking to you.
So this has been Socially Triggered. This has been a really great interview. So I hope to do more of these.
I hope to be back. So, okay.